The chair recognizes Ms. Garcia of Bexar County for memorial recognition.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Members, I couldn't be more proud than to serve as the only woman veteran that this body and this legislature has ever elected, but I couldn't be more proud than to represent Military City, USA. As a proud combat veteran who served in Operation Iraqi Freedom, and my husband Ramon, who served in Operation Iraqi Freedom and is actually a Purple Heart veteran. We represent San Antonio, and a lot of veterans retire and end their careers in San Antonio because of the health care, because of the proximity to the culture of the military. Because when we leave the military, a lot of times when we get out of that uniform, we lose a piece of ourselves. We don't recognize who we are outside of the uniform, and just to go outside and survive knowing that you've cheated death is something that we experience on a daily basis. On April 7th, one of my brothers in arms lost his battle. We hear every year about the 22 that lose their battle to suicide. To protect the privacy of this soldier, I want to read to you an excerpt of a message that his father shared on social media publicly. April 8th, 2025. Today, as I heard the words no father can ever imagine, your son Mark is dead. Yesterday, Mark texted me at 12:34 p.m. with the words, Papa, I love you very much and I always will. I texted him back, I love you too with all my heart. I don't know if he read my reply or not, because minutes later a taxi dropped him off at a VA hospital in San Antonio. Walking up to the door, he shot himself in the head. I only learned about his death this morning. My heart is broken, my soul is crushed. There are no words, yet something must be said. Why would Mark do such a hideous thing? I know exactly why. He was making a powerful statement to the VA on behalf of the world, on behalf of thousands of veterans. Veterans that have been neglected and pushed to the brink of disaster. Veterans whose voices have been silenced and whose plights have been ignored. A protest against a broken system that will not listen. My daughter Michelle had lunch with Mark on March 30th to see how he was doing. He seemed happy and content, talking about his work at the food pantry and taking care of his animals. Little did we know the deep-seated turmoil brewing in his mind and in his soul. On April 1st, Mark went to the VA for help. He left. He texted me, I just left my VA appointment at Audie Murphy. Look how nice they are to me. They prescribed me Seroquel. Wow, how nice. Did they not even listen to my story? Just like a robot that hands out poison to every soldier. I should call KSAT News and tell them that they're murdering our heroic men and women. They did not listen to anything. They just prescribe stuff. Unreal. It's a crime. They're murdering our vets. Close quote. Mark sent me a picture of Seroquel that the VA doctor gave him. Mark told me that the doctor did not even listen to him, and after 5 minutes said, here, take these pills. How can a pill heal years of war, years of trauma, solve any problem, plan for a future, provide insight into any course, any cause, give hope for any future? They can't. Instead, these pills numb your brain. They turn you into a crazed zombie. 3 years ago, Mark and I wrote a book together. Suicide Stalks the Sniper. It was a work of love between us that seemed to have healed him. As he opened his soul to the world in hopes of helping veterans, in this book, Mark said, "I left the war, but the war did not leave me." A veteran commits suicide every 63 minutes in the USA, 7,000 per year, and most of them are being treated by psychiatrists with SSRIs and other mind-altering drugs. None of these drugs have ever been proven to prevent suicide, but they sure have been proven to promote suicide. In fact, there's a black box warning on these drugs that say they increase suicide. Why would psychiatrists use these drugs on warriors that are suffering mental anguish and depression? Because psychiatrists have been brainwashed by Big Pharma to use drugs instead of psychotherapy, pills instead of purpose, polypharmacy instead of exercise, sun, and good food. They have become legalized drug dealers. It is much easier, faster, more profitable to give a drug than to spend time listening to and counseling veterans. I lay my blame for my son's death on the VA system and the psychiatrist who drugged him instead of helping him. He could have prevented this tragic death. I blame myself for not seeing the red flags that Mark and I talked about each of our seminars. Mark is gone, but his message is not. The gunshot that rang out yesterday on the steps of the VA hospital will reverberate around this world until this egregious system is fixed and veterans are giving the love and support they so undeniably deserve. Today, the world has lost an angel, a hero, a beloved son, a brother, an uncle, and a friend. Mark positively touched the lives of thousands. He was the most loving, kind, tolerant, giving, loyal, and nice guy I have ever known. I love you with all my heart, Mark. Words will never express my thanks to you for being an amazing son and a loving son a papa could never want for anything better. You took a big part of me with you. I hope to see you soon over there. Larry Miller. Brothers and sisters of this legislative body, we are going to hear a lot of things this session. I ask to draw you all back to being unapologetically red, white, and blue and support our veterans through policy, through legislation, and through uplifting these words and these stories. These aren't new. This is every day for us. Thank you.
Members, please rise and join us in observing a moment of silence. Thank you, members. Representative Toth for recognition.
Mr. Speaker, members, it was June 2015 when the Veterans Administration came out with its own suicide report. It was dated June 2015. You can Google search it right now. On page 47, it identified veterans with post-traumatic stress, substance use disorder, and clinical depression. Those that got treatment, those that did not get treatment. Those that did not get treatment had a 50% lower suicide rate than those that did get treatment. What she is saying is absolutely true. We had the opportunity to hear legislation in the 86th session. With only 2 days' notice, dozens of veterans showed up to voice support for this legislation that called to study what we're doing to our veterans. That bill should have been voted out that night, but unfortunately, the psychiatric community, the Texas Medical Association, the Texas Hospital Association killed the bill. It never got a vote. We're better than that. We should vote this legislation out. It should be heard, and we should study how SSRIs are killing our veterans. Thank you.